Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy. I'm Joy and I want to inspire you to get organized. And in today's video, I am going to be transforming my college-age son's room into an office / his room because my husband is officially working from home full-time and needs an office space. But I did want to share these before shots before we get into it. So here we're just jumping right into the video. I'm removing everything from my son's closet because I will be painting it, and I will share a little bit more about what I'm doing in a minute here. Okay, so initially I thought about just completely taking this out. My boys used to share this room when they were little, and my father-in-law and husband installed this extra rod so that we had 2 rows for their clothes, so we had more space. But we haven't used this since my younger son moved out of this room several years ago. So I thought about removing it. However, if you watched my half bath makeover, you might remember all the struggles I had removing a similar piece of wood. And I didn't even do this project, so I don't know exactly how they have it adhered to the wall, but I'm thinking it's gonna be too much work. So I think I'm just gonna take this down and then just go ahead and paint over that. And I will show you what I'm going to be doing here. So I get that maybe this look is not for everyone. I get that some people might think it is weird, but a few years ago I saw this technique in one of the homes of a blogger I follow, where she painted 3/4 of the wall a color and then the 1/4 white, and I really loved it. So when my son went away to college, I decided to experiment in his room. He doesn't love it, but he also doesn't care that much. But I was thinking of painting the closet the same way. It might not be exactly the same height because I am going to be stopping wherever the first shelf is. So we'll see how this goes. So here, while I had the can of blue paint out, I decided to go ahead and purchase outlet covers and light switch covers that are paintable so that they're less noticeable because the wall is such a dark color. I don't know if you've watched some of my other videos or maybe reels that I've posted on Instagram, but I'm obviously obsessed with these paintable outlet covers, and so I decided to add them to this room as well. Next, I will be working on cleaning off, but also decluttering this shelf. I needed to go through all of his books and figure out which ones I could get rid of. Most of them were from high school, some were from college classes, but I was in the midst of playing the minimalism game for the month of October during this time period, so I definitely wanted to declutter as much as I possibly could. I know I didn't take a lot of footage of the process, but I will show you that this is what the closet is looking like at the end of day one. I did vacuum and steam back inside the closet. I don't believe I have any footage of that, but I will probably take some footage tomorrow of me vacuuming and steam vacuuming the entire room. But I'm not necessarily keeping this like this. I just set those up there and I just hung that little pot there. I can't decide exactly what I'm going to do with this. Obviously, while he is home, he will have clothes hanging all along there, so we don't need to have artwork. But I'll show you what I am going to be doing tomorrow, and so it might impact this whole setup. I'm not even married to keeping this larger frame with the leaf print. I can't decide, so I might ask my husband what he wants in here, but I'll show you the other side of the room. Okay, so this is what is going on this side of the room. The dresser used to be right down here, and I'm thinking about potentially removing these shelves altogether. It kind of depends on the desk that my husband gets, but that L up there, it is always crooked, and since this is going to be kind of my husband's office, it's a little bit silly to have an L hanging that is for Luke, my son's name. This is his room. Um, so there are some things here that I might be getting rid of even if I don't get rid of the shelves entirely. And then I also have to figure out what to do with this artwork. We have a lot of medical related artwork because my son was a pre-med major. He recently changed to chemical engineering, but he was pre-med. So for gifts and stuff, I've bought him different artwork that were related to the medical field. But I've got to decide if I even want to keep this, if I want to move that into the closet. Who knows? It depends on my husband's desk, but I just wanted to show you kind of where I'm at end of day 1. And this is now day 2 of working in this room. And on this day, I'm just going ahead and giving this room a deep clean before my husband takes over and makes it very challenging for me to get in here to clean. I wanted to go ahead and talk about my son's bed since it's in this shot. You can kind of see it in the corner. It's an orange platform bed, and I actually made this bed back when he and my other son shared a room. I made 2 platform beds for them to go along with the theme in their room at the time. I've really been kind of over this orange color and been wanting to get rid of it for a while, and this week, on this particular week, it was bulk pickup, and I found a vintage bed on the side of the road ready to be picked up with bulk trash. And I decided to grab it and just go ahead and get rid of this orange bed and some of the orange accents in this room. You'll see that vintage bed in just a bit here towards the end of the video, but I was so excited to find this bed. Okay, I am on another day, and as you can see, we brought some desks in here. This desk we purchased off of Amazon. My son actually got this desk, and my husband liked it so much that he bought it. It raises and lowers so you can sit or stand at it. And then this is my son's old desk. The other side had a set of drawers like this side, but he wanted to keep those because it had some items in it that he wanted to access. So we just makeshift added this kind of end table / miniature desk on the other side. But it doesn't look bad on camera, and probably because I've already prepared or prepped it, but it was in really bad shape. It had like stains and stuff on it. But I have already prepped it. I wasn't gonna do this on camera, but I'm using this furniture transformation kit, and this is a deglosser. It basically kind of acts as a sander so that it preps the surface to have the paint adhere to it really well. But I decided to go ahead and paint this. There's a lot of competing wood colors in this room as it is, and I thought it might look more cohesive if this was black along with that, and then the legs are white, and then we also have these white drawers. So I just thought that would look nice. In addition to that, because of all the competing woods, I'm gonna paint the top of this black as well. I'll show you later what I mean by competing woods. But for now, I'm going to be painting this desktop so that it looks more uniform. On this day, I was also working on this shelf, and I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I was potentially going to get rid of these shelves altogether, but once my husband brought his desks in this space, I decided to just move them down several inches so that it wasn't awkwardly placed above his desk. So this is just the process of me going ahead and moving these shelves down. I think it was like 16 inches. It's kind of annoying because it was such a tedious process and I really dislike hanging things on the wall, but I was glad I did it in the end because it was really bothering me how awkward it looked in this space with my husband's desk where it was located. After I was done with the shelf project, the paint had dried on the end table and the desk. I did end up adding 2 coats of paint so that it gave good coverage, but here you just see me adding the top coat, which is just the protective coat. Can anyone spot my little sidekick in this room? He seriously follows me everywhere, but I do have to admit, now that my husband is working in here, he really loves that window seat, so sometimes he abandons me to go spend time with my husband and to relax on that window seat. If you watched my recent video, A Day in the Life of a Rest Day, then this footage might look familiar to you. This was on a different day. I wanted to go ahead and move this artwork over a bit because I didn't like how it was located over the bed, but you can get a sneak peek there of the vintage bed that I was talking about and the competing wood colors that I was talking about. But this is the final thing that I needed to do in this room, and then I will show you some after shots. Well, that is all I have for you in today's video. I hope this video was somehow motivational or inspirational to you. I know that my husband is loving this space as his office space and so appreciates it. But if you are new to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching this video till the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.